Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to give a quick recap of my local card shop's trade night tonight, what I picked up, and then we'll touch on a few things that went down. So first up, I went to the card shop. I was looking for a booklet case, one touch for my Kelvin Benjamin Nationals Treasures, and I asked the guy behind the counter if they had any, because there weren't any up in the back where they keep all the supplies. So we went back and he just gave me a brand new one. So shout out them for sure. That was really nice of them. They didn't have to do that, but looks dope in this one touch. Love this card. I'm a Panthers fan, and Benjamin was my favorite player back in 2014, 2015, 2013, I guess, when he was a rookie. I think he was a rookie in 2013. No, it was 2014, but yeah, he was a beast until he got fat and got traded to the Bills. So anyway, but obviously since they did that for me, I wanted to pick up something from the shop. So I picked up this Sarah Strong Orange Wave out of 35 for 20 bucks. And there were some comps around 40, 35 for it on eBay. Already sold it for $34. So could I have gotten 40 for it? Quite possibly, but I'll take my money right here for that. So next up, I sold 2 cards today at the card shop. Not these, obviously, but sold a Optic Aqua Brian Thomas Jr. for $45 cash. That was, I would have liked to get $50 for it, but 45, I'm in it for about 40. I'll take my $5 profit and run with it. There's one on eBay for 60, I believe. Could I have held on to it and gotten 50, 55 for it? Definitely possible. I don't know. It was an okay sale. And then I sold a Purple Ice Xavier Worthy Prism. Can't remember if that's numbered or not. I think it is 225, I believe. Sold that one for 20, I believe, which was a little less. I would have liked to get 25 or 30 for it, but get out of it. I was in it for about 20. So I just need the cash right now, to be honest with you. I've been buying a lot, which is good, but would like to put my money into things that are more profitable. So, at most I was going to make $5 or $10 in that card. So it is what it is. Anyway, let's talk about what went down. So first off, the guy that bought those 2 cards for me, he offered me $30 for this. And this just kind of brings up a topic that I have about like the repackers and buying stuff for 80%, selling it for 90, and it's a weird game. I respect it. I have sold the repackers before at card shows and whatnot, but he just pulled a last comp up for this card and decided $35 was the last comp and buy it for 30, which I see where he's coming from, but I'm the only one up on eBay right now for $90. The next up is 300, I believe, which is obviously very high, but there's sales for PSA 9s, which go for about as raw normally in this day and age, for like a 120. There's multiple sales in the 70s and 80s for this card. Granted, there are 2 sales in the high 30s, but for a Chiefs fan, like, I think this card could easily fetch 50, 60 bucks, especially as we're getting closer to the season. So, that's why I try not to sell a lot at card shows or card shops, just because you're normally not selling to the end consumer, and that's when you can maximize your profit. So, eBay is, people call it fee-bay and whatnot, but at the same time, like, you're getting the most eyes on your products, on your items, and you're still going to get, 87% once you sell the card. If you do promoted listings, you're getting, 86 or so, 86 and a half, whatever. But you can sell it for more than comps sometimes when you with promoted listings. So it's just better to sell stuff on eBay, in my opinion. But if you have stale inventory, selling it to a repacker at a card show is not the worst move either. So next up is Bryce Young. So the guy who's buying the other cards off me, he offered me like $155 for this, and it won't gem. There's a little bit of an edge issue down here, but other than that, it looks like a really flawless card in my opinion. The surface is great, no scratches or anything. I'm a Panthers fan, like I said, so I don't mind holding on to this, and maybe I might value it $10-15 more than the average person, but um, 155, like, pretty low in my opinion. I'm the cheapest up on eBay for 230. There is my comp, which I bought this one at 180 for, and another one sold for 170, which was interesting that they accepted that offer. But there's other comps for this card this past month for, 220, 230, I believe. I'll pop them on screen, maybe 210. As we get closer to the season, I just feel like this is a $200+ card. With the fees and stuff on eBay, I was willing to take, 180, 170 for it. So another guy offered me 170 cash for it, he shook my hand. He offered it to me, first of all, and then he shook my hand, pulled out his little pouch with all his money, got it all out, and then decided to check comps again a second time, texted his friend, and then said, I'm gonna pass on it, So kind of a weird situation there. I mean, I don't blame him, like, it is what it is, but he did shake my hand, and, we made a deal, so I kind of felt a little bit weird about that, but it is what it is. I don't mind holding on to it. I think I can get more for it toward the season. So it is what it is. But anyway, I think we had a successful trade night. Didn't really do too much. They didn't really have a lot of, or the people there didn't really have a lot of stuff that I was interested in. And I guess I didn't have stuff that they were interested in because I didn't sell that much. But overall, I think it was a success. Even just with this, the Sarah Strong, I'm going to make about $10 on that. And then getting this case, which goes for about $10. Like, these are $10-15 one touches. Getting that for free. I mean, shout out my LCS. Cool little trade night as our first one. So I'll definitely be attending some in the future. Anyway, did want to mention that my Pokemon order from February is finally in grading, so that should be back here in a week or two. And then my Value Plus order with my Drake May Kaleidoscopic and my Bryce Young Dragon Scale Field Level is also in grading, so that should be back around the same time. We do have a pretty big DC Sports 87 order, for me at least. It's like 15 or 16 cards, I believe, coming in the next few days, so I'll definitely make a video on that, as well as some other cards that I bought over the past week. So I'm going to try to slow down my buying a little bit and focus on selling some stuff. But yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys updated. I really appreciate y'all watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.